And welcome once again.
How's it going, Adam?
Good. How's it going, Casey?
Super as always.
It's we've enjoyed a nice buffet again tonight.
No, we have. They can't see all of this.
No.
Well, my feet over there, they can probably see our scatter of stuff on the table a little bit.
So yeah, we're
welcome to the show.
But yeah, tonight we have a great show lined up. We're going to discuss the 2014 movie Nightcrawler.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, I think so too.
Absolutely, it was.
And it's going to be a lot of fun getting into it. But before we do, you know what I did? I did not bring in the itineraries. So
that's all right. You do pretty good with the facts.
Okay.
And I mean, you're pretty when you pull up an
Would you mind to go
IMDb.
Would you mind to get it? Thank you.
Thanks, baby.
Sorry about that, everyone. I always
That's all right, good times. These become the outtakes and everything that are like
They do. Now,
priceless.
what's odd is I always know the plugs, which are, Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, soon to be TikTok.
Right.
The other people's show, Tops. Just remember that.
Tops.
But I always look at the sheet to
Right.
reassure myself. Do you do
Sure.
do you do things like that?
Habit. Well, yeah, habit sometimes.
Yeah.
Sure.
And even though sometimes I have a couple of other side hustles, so when I answer the phone for some of those side hustles, I always look at this one particular place at the name of the store through the window.
Right.
Although I
right.
know where I am.
Yeah.
There's no
Well,
mistaking.
no. Well, if you work a couple of multiple places, I mean,
You could just,
it's easy to do. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
just slip
done
up.
multiple jobs at one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do juggle quite a few side hustles.
Sure. Yeah.
And I commend people, anyone that does.
Yep.
But it's going to be a great show tonight. Jake Gyllenhaal. This is his second Jake Gyllenhaal movie that the show has done. Actually, Stacy did.
Stacy did the Donnie Darko.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was one that was a lot of people like that one. A lot of
That's a
people,
good one.
which is a cult classic.
Definitely qualifies for cult classic.
And I don't know if as many people have seen this movie as Donnie Darko.
I'm only speculating, but probably not. Though that's a shame, really, because this is a good movie.
Yeah,
And Jake, he does a good job, and his character is good. The evolution of the character, even because he kind of does, because you
Yeah.
can tell in the beginning he's broke,
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
and by the end he's making a lot of money and
Yeah.
stuff, and you can tell his whole demeanor has kind of changed. But he is one creepy dude.
yeah, he is.
He is a creepy dude.
So if you haven't guessed, like we said, Nightcrawler is the movie that we're doing tonight.
Nightcrawler. Yep.
And Nightcrawler came out 2014, and I'm trying to remember a lot of the things that were on the list, but it has Jake Gyllenhaal, and Jake Gyllenhaal, he does a lot of these type of thriller type movies. If you look at his IMDb,
Yep.
he does a lot of these. I guess in Hollywood it would be considered a low budget. This was an $8 million budget.
That's
not
low.
in there.
Which is crazy because it's got some pretty epic little scenes,
Yeah.
and crashes and stuff.
Yeah,
in it.
it's okay. I must have left it in the I don't know where I must have left it, but it's okay. So we'll fly without a net tonight.
We'll wing it. We got this.
It was $8.5 million, and it in the U.S. it made $32 million, so it was a financial success.
Yeah, for sure.
I think on IMDb it had a 7.8 rating,
I could agree with that.
Which-
I might even go a little higher, actually.
which isn't bad. Yeah, and if Stacy doesn't mind to look up the Rotten Tomatoes and audience score, but it was a critical and commercial success, and that's kind of weird because this movie is not. I wouldn't classify this as a mainstream movie at all.
No, but probably one of the more successful of the movies we've done.
Yeah, financially,
Stacey said it was her favorite of the ones we've done
which
on the show.
you did say that, and that kind of surprised me. I'm surprised that this was. I didn't really.
Well, it's not really mainstream, but if you look at it, it's probably the most mainstream, almost, of the movies that we've done.
Yeah.
Really. Though others. Well, I mean, it's not a cult classic.
No. I would say probably. I mean, we've done some pretty obscure movies for the most part, I think.
Yeah.
But I think Jake Gyllenhaal fans would like it and know it.
Oh, for sure.
And I think people that I'm not sure of the director on this, to be honest with you. He made his name. I think it's Dan Gilroy, and he made another movie called Velvet Buzzsaw, which is a Netflix movie.
Buzzsaw.
The trailer to Velvet Buzzsaw,
wow,
it's great.
Is it?
It's Jake Gyllenhaal's in it as well, and Rene Russo, who is also married to the director. But Velvet Buzzsaw is his follow-up to this. The trailer's great. The movie is subpar.
Oh, yeah.
It's not as good as Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
So he may be a one-hit wonder director. I'm not sure. But Nightcrawler, I would say, is probably going to be his masterpiece. Thus far it is.
Yeah.
But a couple of interesting facts on there. What was it on IMDb, Stacey? Was it 7.8? 7.8 on IMDb, which is pretty high, you know.
Yeah.
And then you've got so some fun facts about this. Jake Gyllenhaal did not blink in the movie.
Wow, that explains a lot.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
Yep.
That explains the facial expressions, the eyes. Yeah. Because Stacey kept mentioning the eyes a lot.
Well, he also lost 20 pounds for the role.
Yeah, you called that one too.
Because he said he felt the character was a hungry coyote, and he wanted to have a human embodiment of that.
No, well, I tell you what, he did a good job doing it then.
Yeah.
Because I can totally get that feel, especially, well, no, the whole movie really.
Yep.
Definitely in the beginning because, yeah, he's just creepy. And so, yeah, in that first scene, right, where he's cutting the chain link fence and stuff, Rent-A-Cop rolls up.
Yep.
Did he kill that cop?
That's what I gathered.
You know, that we kind of did too, but then I started thinking, I was like, well, maybe that was just chain link rolled up.
Possibly.
You know what I mean?
Possibly.
But I don't know. I wasn't sure.
So another fun fact is, I'm trying to think of some fun facts I had. There were a couple about Jake Gyllenhaal. He did all of his own stunt driving in this film.
Damn. That's pretty impressive because, again, it's...
Yeah. He also rode around with... I forget what they're really called, but he plays Video Production News is his company that he comes up with.
Yeah.
So he's pretty much an ambulance chaser, but not the lawyer side of it. He wants the story. He wants the
story.
Exclusive.
Yeah.
And he actually rode around with people that did this in preparation as well.
Yeah, and that's crazy because, you know, we hadn't got to it. We usually talk about originality later in the show.
Yeah.
But, now's a good time as any, but it's pretty original.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
I
can't think of other movies out there when I was watching it. I was like, wow, you know there's people out there that do this.
Yeah.
And that's crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, thank you. Let's see, we had... so Jake Gyllenhaal also memorized the entire movie like he did a play, like a theater play. As in, instead of like... Typically you would go in and just memorize what, you know, we're doing these scenes this day.
Right.
You'll have a rough outline of the entire movie.
Yeah.
But you'll do 2 pages in a day. It's not that hard, really.
Right.
But he memorized it all at once and then thought about it in like 3-act structure of a play. Well, 2-act structure of a play, 3 for film. So I found that pretty interesting. And he also, the only music cues in the movie are when his character changes moods.
Oh.
Because if you think about it, there's not a whole lot of background musical score. There's this one, the one we just played kind of is his theme, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Because it plays, several times throughout the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, whenever his mood changes, that's when the musical cues kick in.
I hadn't picked up on that, but in retrospect, I can totally see that.
And other than one scene, there's no daylight scenes. There's only one daylight scene.
Yeah.
It's mainly shot at night, and it was shot in 28 days.
Wow.
And they cut off some of the streets of Los Angeles at night.
Yeah, so they could film the high speed stuff.
So let's dive in. What what is the plot? What is the story of Nightcrawler?
So basically, you've got Jake Gyllenhaal at the beginning of the movie. He's broke. He's broke. You get the feeling he's broke. He's basically
A scavenger.
a scavenger, like I was going to say. So we referenced at the beginning. Movie opens. He's clipping chain link fence and stuff, and he shows up. Basically, looks like a scrapyard.
Yeah.
Selling manhole covers and everything.
Yeah, because it has a quick view of the back seat of his car, and he's got like
Yeah,
and
that's when I wonder. I was like, is that a body rolled up in that back? Did he kill that rent-a-cop right off the bat? You don't really know.
No.
All you know is that he's got his watch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that watch pops up. I mean, there's shots of that watch, close-ups, like throughout the movie, and I kept thinking it was going to tie into something deeper, or maybe it did, and I missed it. But
No, I don't think he really had any tie-in other than just
No.
show that he's going to take what he wants.
he's going to take which is
and do what he
kinda-
wants to do, basically.
Yeah, and so the movie starts. That happens. You get the feeling he's broke. He's scavenger, trying to get a job with whoever basically he comes across, and I guess he rolls up on an accident or something, isn't that? And he basically sees these guys filming it.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Well, it's really after he gets turned down because he tries to sell the the copper or the wire. He tries to wheel and deal with this guy, and he's persistent.
yeah. Now his dialogue throughout the movie is crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, it's very, what did you say, like Asperger's almost.
Yeah.
Kind of something. Like
And it's
super
also
smart,
like,
but it's
or
weird.
which we'll get into this a little bit later, but it's almost like his only purpose or goal is to get the next story, to move up, to be better, get better equipment, get a better car.
Yeah.
He
You
can
can tell
pay
he gets addicted to it
Yeah.
almost. Yeah.
because other than that, it doesn't show him what does he do. It doesn't show him doing anything else.
Anything else. Sleeping, nothing. It's constant. The movie's constantly this,
Yeah.
chasing these things. And it's wild. It's a wild movie. I mean, it's definitely a good movie.
So so that's pretty much the basic plot. He's kind of an ambulance chaser, and he gets we won't give away too many spoilers, but he kind of starts to help the story along.
Help the story, sure.
Yeah.
Allow it to become bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically it's not even so much he's an ambulance chaser, almost like storm chaser.
Yeah.
Well, ambulance chaser, but he's listening to like police scanners, but he ends up getting to places. There's a couple of companies.
Yeah.
There are guys doing this, so it's like this race to get to these.
And
whatever scenes.
one at the head of is Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton, yeah.
So he shows up.
Nod to storm
Yeah.
chasing with them.
Yeah, Helen Hunt.
Yeah.
And
What was it?
Twister.
Twister, thank you.
Yep.
I was grasping for the name of the movie.
And there is an Oscar winner also besides Helen Hunt that's in Twister. Do you know who this is? A little trivia, early
Early trivia.
early acting role. He's got 3 names.
3 names.
Yep. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh,
Is
right.
also
He
in Twister.
does. He's the kind of hippie-ish dude.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow. I didn't even think of that. I
Yep.
like him. He's a good actor for sure.
But yeah, who
Rest
would have
in
thought that
peace,
he
Philip
came
Seymour
from
Hoffman,
Twister
yeah.
to
Everything else. No, for sure.
Yeah.
No, a good one for sure.
So-
So yeah, there's a couple of people, doing this. And so yeah, he kind of gets hooked on it for sure. And, and the thing about what they're chasing is not just whatever. It becomes, as the movie unfolds, it's very much what types of stories become an issue. You know, it's like because the way these guys are making money is the same way storm chasers or anybody else doing that is selling the footage that they get to news stations. That's how they make their money. And so they're working like the overnight, late night shifts. So they're trying to get footage that they can then sell in time to make the morning, the morning news shows
get ratings
and stuff.
and advertisements.
Yes,
basically.
exactly. And so, yeah, they're all trying to, who's got the best footage and who's the closest. And Jake's character, Lewis, in the movie.
Lou Bloom.
Lou Bloom. Yeah, Lou Bloom. He develops a knack for getting some of the best footage,
And not always in the most morally
or tasteful. Yeah,
Tastefully.
morally would even probably be a better way to put it. ways.
Yeah. So we've got. What about the? Do you have a favorite or least favorite character in the movie?
I kind of like Jake's character pretty
I
good.
do too.
I mean, it's hard. The acting job, I mean, honestly, is pretty phenomenal.
He really. I'm not sure if he won any awards for this, but he should have won some kind of awards.
You would think.
Even like an independent film award, or like maybe if they went into different festivals. But his acting is. It's even the speed of which he. Spits out his dialogue.
Yeah, and the dialogue, because it's like the guy is super smart. You know what I mean? Like you can tell he knows a lot of stuff, and I don't know, but he's almost like that, almost just too common, nice, or not even that way, because he gets kind of forceful as he unfolds, but he just looks like he's getting ready to snap all the time.
Yeah, at any moment.
Yeah, that he could just like go off the rails. You know what I mean? And he kind of, not that he even goes off the rails, but. I don't know. He's creepy, even
like how would
intimidating.
How would you think if you interacted with this person in a real setting? You know what I mean? It would be a very. Would you feel intimidated by this character? I probably would.
Probably because again,
he's staring right down at you for one, not blinking.
That's crazy.
And then spewing out, hyperbole after hyperbole, basically.
Yeah,
I mean, almost.
Yeah,
I mean, you've got to make the money to buy the. You've got to make the money to what is it? You've got to make the money to. You have to make the money to buy the ticket in order to win.
To win. If you want to win the lottery, you got to make the money to buy the ticket.
Yeah,
that's what it is. And it's funny because his character says pretty early on in the movie, he talks about how he was raised in the self-esteem generation.
Yeah,
which is like you can do anything, you can achieve, have anything you want to have
that you put your mind to.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And he's down to gutters, but he puts his mind to it, and he starts just building. And selling, he ends up hooking up with, I can't remember the actress's name at the moment.
Renee Russo.
Yeah, that's right, Renee Russo. We talked about it earlier. Is the station manager on the night shift, basically, that he's selling all this footage to. And she's slightly unsavory herself, it would seem, in a way. But
because later we find out, that she's on the verge of possibly losing her job.
Right. And it's all about ratings. It's all about ratings, too.
And Lou realizes this and, pretty much blindsides her with his proposal.
Yeah, it's almost like blackmail in a weird way, Like he's not holding a secret, but he's holding,
Yeah.
He's willing to do things to get the most for himself, too, you know what I mean?
And to get what he wants.
What he wants.
Yeah. Which is basically what it comes down to, what he wants.
Yeah, right. No, and it's crazy because he ends up getting somehow, as the movie plays out, he ends up at scenes of things before, like the cops.
Yeah,
and it happens a couple of times, and I'm not sure like how that.
I can't remember exactly how. Because one time, I can't. Maybe they just happened to hear it on the scanner and get there quicker.
Sooner, I know, like the home invasion story.
Because he does get a new.
They were close because they're like, we're like 5 blocks from instead of this one. Let's go to the home invasion, and that's how they end up there.
Yeah, which leads to be the biggest story in the movie.
That really,
the central story.
Sure.
I guess you could.
Yeah, so he shows up at this home invasion before the cops, and see how we do this without giving away too much. So basically, he gets there while the home invasion, quote unquote, is still happening.
Yeah,
he hears the gunshots. He catches some of it on film. You know what I mean? He catches the guys coming out of the house, getting in the car, leaving. He captures it all on film. And then he proceeds to go up in the house and film in this murder scene prior to the police getting there, and then they bounce.
Yep.
Like before the cops even get there, and I have thought to myself, I was like, well, damn, why would they bounce? Like, there's still footage to get here, like, why would you not be like, oh, we just got here and just film a bunch more?
Right.
But it kind of makes sense when the movie plays out. But again, so he goes and sells this over the top, exclusive murder scene footage seen for the first time. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
The cops hadn't even been there yet, and he's in there. And you just wonder, like, how is he going to explain
how he has this footage.
being at these things before the cops and just like being able to get to all these places so quick.
And they never did really quiz him on that at the time.
No,
not
I mean,
really.
They kind of pushed a little bit, but not really.
No.
The cops come into the picture twice.
Right.
Over that, the home invasion and the footage, and they wanted the station to pull it.
Right.
And they refused to. Like,
right.
they ran it. But you can tell, well, it shows within the station, there's very much disagreement as far as the types of footage they're running, because they're running this like really graphic footage. And they're doing it all for ratings to glue people to their TV.
And there's especially one of the male anchors doesn't really,
not at all.
And he's kind of a very vague side character, but he does make a couple of comments.
Oh yeah, well, because I mean, at one point, they've been running this home invasion story. When he brings this footage in, Rene Russo's character like just takes it and runs and turns it into this whole thing. Home invasion. We have to extend this out all day long. We're not gonna just roll this footage in the morning and show it. We're gonna make this happen. We're gonna scare people, and they're gonna tune to us to know what's going on, what the updates are, and so he's using fear tactics.
Well, even after at one point they say, the story's taking a different turn, and she's like, "We're not gonna go with that. We're gonna go that they're still out there."
Yeah, that's right. The one station manager dude that you had referenced. It tells her that they found a bunch of drugs, and it turns out it was like a drug thing, not a home invasion. Because they were trying to spin it like there's this rash of home invasions, and everybody in Los Angeles all the rich people should be scared.
Yeah.
And that's not what it was.
And she really wanted to create pandemonium.
She
for ratings.
Yeah, for ratings.
So I did find the itinerary here, so we'll get into it really quick. Worldwide, this made $47.5 million.
Wow, that's pretty good.
So it was 95% Rotten Tomatoes.
What was it?
95%.
Wow.
So this might be the highest rated movie we've watched on
as far as Rotten Tomatoes goes.
Yeah.
It is, for
and
sure.
And 86% audience positive.
God, might be the highest rated on both of those.
I think so too. Also,
honestly,
let's see.
You were right.
One other little tidbit of information is when Rick is filling up Lou's car with the gas, a poster for the Tom Hanks movie Captain Phillips is visible in the background.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
So I didn't either. That was just on some of the couple of the trivia things that I looked up about it. But I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So
what was it? Oh, yes. Yeah, that's one of my favorite scenes, probably the movie, where he's like, he gets all aggravated and he just like, and just like smashes the mirror. Yeah.
Well, he really does, and I think it's on the trivia on IMDb.
Is that what it was?
But he really does cut his hand.
Oh. Wow. Yeah, no, that's a great scene.
But as he was doing it, he continued the scene. Yeah. Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
So what about, you mentioned that's one of your favorite scenes. What is that your only favorite scene of the movie?
No. There's a lot. It's full of good scenes.
I think so too. I think
we could go on and on probably about the acting job, because he steals the movie, his character, Lou, like by far. Bill Paxton's in there, and everybody's, all the supporting cast is good. But it's very much about him.
It's a one-man show, basically.
Straight up a one-man show, and everybody else is. But that's the character too, kind of in a way. Like everybody else is just supporting, and at the same time completely disposable.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And that's how it is to Lou. Everybody is disposable.
Is completely disposable.
They're another step for him to walk to get to the next.
Yeah, and he totally uses them too, because he doesn't. He's like making all this money, but he is by no means generous with it. Like you get the feeling that the guy that he brings on in the beginning, Rick.
Yep.
And he wants to bring him on as an intern. You know what I mean? And not even pay him at all. And the guy's like, well, listen, I'll do anything. I got to have money. Basically same kind of place that Lou's character kind of. You get the feeling that he started in the beginning of the movie. Yep. Now he's in the power position.
Yep.
But he's not really in a power position, because he literally just has a cheap camcorder in his little Yugo car or something, but he's acting the role. He's acting as if.
He's basically putting on the doctor coat and walking in, acting like he owns the place.
Like he's the doctor, And I remember when we were watching it, and when he goes to sell that first piece of footage that he has, he just walks up in the studio, like he's supposed to be there. You know what I mean? And it's funny because I mean, yeah, okay, I guess. And it reminds me of it seems like we've referenced this movie before, but Boiler Room. There's a scene in Boiler Room where Ben Affleck's character is giving this whole monologue to these cats that have just come into this Wall Street company, and Giovanni Ribisi's sitting there, and he's just doing this whole spiel about, just act as if,
Right.
act as if you have $1 million, act as if, and I mean, it kind of makes sense, and he probably kind of gravitates to you eventually because it kind of does here
Yeah.
in a really weird way.
That's
but-
how weird. Like Lou acts like. Well, there's a couple of examples when he's persistent with the job that he doesn't get at the beginning. With the guy that he's trying to sell the stuff to.
Yeah.
He does that when he's trying to sell the bicycle in the pawn shop.
Oh yeah.
He keeps
Just
on doing
persistent
that.
and kind of ends up getting what he wants really
Yeah,
out of it.
yeah.
The 700 plus the camcorder.
He ends up getting the guy ends up being the intern for him for free.
for free. Mm-hmm.
And then later on, the guy gets the nerve to ask for a raise, and the guy is unsure of himself, asks for $75 a night, but he could have got more.
Could have got more. Yeah.
So there's multiple times, but it's
Yeah, he's a sly character.
I mean
Lewis.
he pretty much argues about the price of a couple of videos that he's selling.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't take the job when Bill Paxton's character offers it.
Nope.
And then, when the tables have turned, and spoiler alert, Bill Paxton's character meets his demise and becomes the story.
Becomes the story via
Lou is not there to even hold it. He doesn't care at all.
Mm-mm.
He doesn't care at all.
He records and actually doesn't even sell it. He doesn't even end up making any money off it because he sells it as a side thing to this bigger story of the home invasion.
Yeah.
And it's pretty,
that's one of my favorite scenes. I like that scene, and because I think that it was kind of like
which scene, the home invasion scene.
Well,
where
the
he's
scene
doing the negotiating.
Where I like the one of my favorite scenes of Lou and Renee Russo's character. What's her name? Sue.
I think that is what it is.
Is it?
I think so.
So when he asks her to dinner,
Yeah.
and that little dialogue that they have, is that her name? Okay.
Yeah, the dialogue when they're at dinner.
Yeah.
Well, he's asking her to dinner. And
Yeah. Well, I like
And
when they're
kinda
actually at dinner and he's talking about, he first
oh, yeah.
Nina. I don't know why I got Sue, but anyway, it's Nina.
Well, you were not even close.
Not even close. That's a unique name too.
Which is, we're doing a show about movies. Like, we just watched this movie like 2 hours ago.
I'm usually pretty decent at names, but not that time. That was way off. But when he's talking that, that's when you realize that that's when you realize that he's going to use Nina just
Right.
like anyone else. Because he's like, well, let's just say that basically he's saying, if you don't sleep with me, I'm going
to take this and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And has heavily researched her.
Yeah.
But he tells her earlier to me, like, I spend a lot of time on my computer. I just read stuff on the internet. I learn things.
I learned quickly.
And just totally flips it, and it's just like,
And
they
then-
end up at dinner. He demands what he wants, and that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah. And basically it alludes to the fact that he gets, because
Totally,
he
yeah.
says one time, I forgot his line, but he says, next time you'll do exactly what I said.
Yeah. When we're alone at your place or
Yeah.
whatever it was. Yeah, I remember.
And you can actually see like fear in her eyes,
Yeah.
which shows again that Lou is going to get what
Lou wants. Yeah.
by any means necessary, and he gets away with it
Gets away with it.
every time.
Everything. The whole everything. I mean, it's like, again, when the movie ends, the credits roll, and you're like, wow,
Yeah,
he just got away with that shit.
but I do think this. I do think the movie wouldn't have had the impact if he had got caught.
No, it wouldn't. And I'd seen the movie before, but I remembered the premise of the movie.
Yeah,
But I couldn't remember like how it played out. And I kept waiting for the watch to be what got him caught.
right.
You know what I mean? Because it just kept showing the watch, and I was like, that's going to be his demise. They're going to tie it back to that dude in the beginning, and it's all going to unravel. But no,
He never
he
did.
totally gets away with it all. You're just like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, it's hard to discuss it without too much spoiler alerts, but we referenced Bill Paxton's character reaches his demise and becomes a story, but it's totally like at the hands of
Lou.
Lou. He messes with the brakes or whatever.
Yeah. So he created because
He created the situation to
Yeah.
then record it, and it's like, because even with there's that one scene with the rollover the car.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's the first time that you realize this. I mean, it's not the first time you realize it's messed up, but he does something really messed up.
Yeah, you're kind of like
It's where
this guy has no maybe he has no limits.
Yeah, so he gets there again. He's the first person on the scene. The person he's trying to interview the person, because Nina's character has told him you can get interviews with people. So
Yeah.
he's got the camera on the guy's face. He's like, "Get out of my!" He's still on the phone with 911.
Yeah.
That's how quick he gets to the
That's
scene.
right. That's
And
right.
he goes up on the hill to get a good angle and a good shot, because he's all about the shots and the angles.
Yeah.
He talks about it repeatedly. Even when he's in the surveillance or being interrogated, and he's like, looks up at the camera. He's like, something like wide angle
Yeah.
shot kind
Yeah.
of stuff. I mean, like, everything to make the footage and everything better.
Look the best it can.
But then he realizes that he's missing something from this shot from his vantage point. And so he makes sure he fixes the shot
to exactly
to suit how Lou wants it.
Yep.
And Lou gets what Lou wants. And that's
And
what
that's
happens.
I mean,
that's the story right there,
yeah.
really.
He does. There's not one thing that he wants in the movie that he doesn't get.
Nope, not a single thing.
And it's by it doesn't seem it just from what we're shown, it doesn't seem that he really he gets it by talking.
Yeah,
I mean,
lot.
he might be abusive to Nina in the bedroom. We don't know that. It's alluded to.
Yeah.
He might, but we don't know and we don't see it.
No, we don't.
But everything he does, he talks his way up.
Yeah, no, he does.
The entire
because
film.
again, he's smart, he's slick talking, but he's smart, So he's not just he's intimidating people with their fears, basically.
Because he knows how to use their fears
He's
against them. Because
he's manipulating them. Yeah, it's
very
good manipulation.
Yeah, and very intelligent.
Yeah, it's
Learns
crazy.
quickly. So,
Crazy.
what did you think about the score and the music?
I mean, it was good where it was there when it was there. Like you said, it's minimal.
Yeah,
But noticeable. That's the thing about minimalistic music and scores, is when they hit. Like sometimes when it's, there's some movies and it's got pretty much like this constant flow of background music almost the whole movie, whether it's
and it can take
classical.
away.
Yeah, it kind of takes away, and it just kind of fades into the background. It doesn't stand out, So we'll talk about the soundtrack in particular, but I don't know if there was a particular how it just kind of is kind of there, you know. But again, when it's kind of minimal, it allows it to become more of a character.
Yeah,
kind of similar to like with we mentioned in Killing Zoe, where the music itself is almost. This isn't quite like that, but the music can almost become a character.
And I think we've watched a lot of movies.
A couple of movies
have had really good scores.
Yeah,
I think most, excluding the very minimum that was in Death Becomes Her, which was just basically that one or two tracks.
Yeah.
This one had a few little moody tunes, like you said, but it very much wasn't a powerful character in the movie.
No. All night, like I said, it was more of a just to support the shift in his mood.
Yeah.
Because his facial expression never really changed a whole lot.
I mean, his eyes are wide the entire time.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because we had talked about that,
Yeah.
and it was like, like, how do you even do that, man? Like, I can't.
I don't even know how you would do that.
I don't know if I can sit here and like do this the whole, like, for an hour.
He would have to be. When he's doing it, his eyes would have to start hurting.
I would imagine, which is going to create probably further expression.
Yeah.
Because of the muscles and stuff. See, I was going to try and do it, and I just forgot.
Yeah.
So, like, how do you even do that?
So that's what we want the audience to do right now. Try to not blink for as long as you can.
Yeah, not blink. Try for just like 5. I made it like 30 seconds. I don't know, maybe. I kind of forgot. But that's probably why they filmed it in 28 days, because
He couldn't
Jake
take
was
much
like,
more.
I can't do that. We got to get this over.
I
with.
have to blink,
I'm
guys.
not
Come
blink
on.
for a month.
I'm just gonna blink for a month straight after this.
I know, right? I can't imagine. Like, it's those muscles in his face. But even, well, like you had talked about, he had lost weight.
Yeah.
But it's weird, and it could be makeup that they use, because it looked like he almost gained weight as the movie progresses. You know, like he almost looked. I made the comment to Stacy that it almost seemed like he was healthier,
Right.
which in a way makes sense, because I mean, like, you should be. You're making all this money,
Right.
now.
Because he was more so. I mean, more of a poor,
Yeah,
probably poverty. Because he's got what does he drive? Like a little Yugo or something?
yeah, a little Yugo, Pinto, something.
Yeah, something small. And then Charger.
Yeah, everybody
is,
else
you
is
know.
driving vans. These people doing this news business stuff, and he's got this Charger, which
Yeah.
makes sense, because
And he's got his assistant.
so he's
right
getting there
with-
faster than everybody.
Yeah, I mean he's got a great camera now,
Mm-hmm.
and one of my favorite scenes also, while we're still in we'll jump back to the scenes, but was the whole last scene with what was his assistant's name, Rick,
Right.
with Rick, when he's negotiating the salary. Rick is.
Yeah.
Then they take he's like, you've got first watch because they're looking out for the criminals.
Oh yeah.
That whole last, Lou calls the cops as he watches the criminals go inside the diner.
Yeah.
So Lou pretty much sets up the scene that he wants to.
Yeah. No, he totally sets it up.
Because he's like, oh, you go down there, talking to Rick,
Yeah.
and so he's sitting.
We hadn't even mentioned how that happened, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna give it away.
But
It's good.
Yeah, but he's setting the scene
Yo,
just like a play,
Totally.
like a movie.
totally like a movie director, and then filming it.
Yeah.
That's exactly, and that's the way. That's even the approach he takes throughout the movie. That's how he's looking at this footage that he's doing. It's like it's a movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just the right angles, the right lighting. You know what I mean? He's
We
taking
even
it all
right
very
down to
seriously.
spoiler alert when Lou sees one of the criminals still alive,
Mhm.
but he sends Rick over.
Yeah.
And then that's when Rick gets shot, and Rick realizes you saw that guy,
You saw that guy.
and Rick is dying a minute or two later, knowing.
Yeah. Well, I was wondering, because after he gets shot and Lou's character comes over and he's recording him like he does everybody else, and then like it looks like he sets the camera down, because then he's just like talking to him and telling him basically he's firing him.
Yeah.
Is what's happening as he's dying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sorry, you're not. Oh, I can't trust you. You know what I mean?
Well, see, I
You
wonder.
try to take like half of my money, or something about your leverage.
Yeah.
You use your leverage to basically he got the upper hand.
Yeah, if you do it now, you'll do it again.
You'll do it again and try and take advantage of me, and just kind of lets him die. But I'm wondering if the camera's still rolling there.
Well, see,
And you
that's
never
what I
really
thought.
know.
I thought if the camera was rolling,
He just screwed himself.
yes, why would you have that footage? But when
It happens earlier in the movie too.
Yeah.
With a similar question about, because, well, again, this is what sets up this whole scene in the end where that you're talking about, is when he shows up at that the home invasion.
Yeah.
And he gets there and he records these people leaving, and he's got all that, and he uploads it all to the internet, kind of cuts it up, it cuts that stuff out,
Yeah.
and just goes and sells the footage just from when he goes into the house.
Right, because he has the footage of the victim sitting there.
Yeah.
And they end up pixelating the faces and stuff.
Yeah, and we started wondering too, because when it's getting reported and stuff, they're like, there's 3 dead bodies, but he said he suggested that somebody was still alive, and so
Right.
we were thinking that there was like a 4th person, but we couldn't remember who it would have been. And then we started wondering about the empty baby, about the empty crib.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Where'd the baby go? Was there not? What happened? What is the
That's
story?
true,
with
because
that?
they never really go anywhere with that, do they?
No, they sure didn't. And it seems like maybe they did, and it all came out in the edit. But because you half expect that it was like an abduction, like they took this kid or something
Yeah.
too, but nothing ever.
Nothing. It's
nothing
never
comes
really
of it.
mentioned
But-
again.
So he has cut out the footage of, because he has, close up. He gets the drivers, the vehicle, the license plate, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
all the stuff where they could already be captured.
They could have been captured, and he doesn't. He sits on it.
Yeah.
Researches it all himself, tracks him down, and that's when they're like, Rick negotiated his raise and stuff because they're basically staking out this guy. Wait till they get to a public place because they know there's going to be an issue.
Yep.
And then they call it in.
Yep. And create the issue. Because
Mm-hmm.
had Lou not called that in, the police, there wouldn't have been a shootout.
Wouldn't have been a shootout, car chase, all that stuff that happens.
Lou created it all.
Yeah.
Just
by sitting on, instead of allowing it to just get busted in at his house and it all goes down quietly because that's not a news story. It's not as exciting,
No, not at all.
And that footage doesn't carry the value that a shootout and car chase footage has.
Yeah. I mean,
and he gets questioned by the cops because, again, the whole time you're watching, you're like, how is he getting away with doing this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like, even rolling up into that house before the cops got there, you would think it would be contaminating a scene and blah, 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 blah. But no, he's like, no, I was going in to see if anybody was hurt.
Because he said he heard somebody scream or something.
Which is, like, legit. You know what I mean? That's, like, legit, really. But he doesn't save anybody in the whole movie.
No.
By any stretch.
No. Nor does he want that.
And nor does he directly kill anybody that we know of.
Right.
I mean, they get...
It's alluded to that he does, but... And you could say that he does because you've got where he
lets Rick get shot.
Yeah. And
but
then
he didn't shoot Rick.
And then he messed with the brakes.
But he didn't... Yeah. Well, that could be construed as, but that he killed that guy.
Right.
But it's all these indirect ways.
Yeah.
Lou, because he's manipulating people and things. And
well, he even
or not
asks,
Rick, but Lou, rather. Yeah.
Super nice at the end because he's like, oh, yeah. He's like, I can tell it's Friday because you have on your orange colored tie.
Yeah.
So he's trying to get in really good when his motives, we really never know his motives. Not really.
Not really, other than to just succeed.
At any cost necessary.
Yeah, because you can have anything you want because he's from the, self-esteem generation.
Because he really...
Or self-esteem movement or whatever it was he said.
Because he never really mentions... Other than, trying to get sex from Nina, other than that, it's never mentioned that he's ever had a girlfriend of the past, that he's ever... Anything that he's ever really done other than that self-esteem thing.
Yeah.
You don't know really. He says he's from the Valley. That's really about all he says at dinner. Yeah. And we don't know anything really about how old is he supposed to be?
Yeah.
30, 35, 28?
Yeah. Yeah. Who knows? You don't really know.
No.
But yeah, it's almost like he finds this niche that he fit in and he ran with it because it's like that self-esteem movement thing. But it's like life wasn't playing out.
Yeah. At
all like he wanted to be, and but then this happened,
and it's odd that was such an odd thing for him to for anyone to have
stumbled into to begin with,
and that's where the originality comes in.
It's very original.
Yeah, there's not really another movie. If you go at the end of IMDb, it'll tell you maybe similar movies, but I don't think there's any similar movie that I can think of.
None that I could think of. There's, I don't know, is there even Ambulance Chaser?
I don't know.
I couldn't even really think of that either,
Yeah. And this also is kind of a little bit of a critique of sensationalism in the media. Because look at, she's willing to air anything up, probably crossing the line of good taste.
No, well, it's suggested that it is.
And morally...
they had to ask if they could legally air some of this stuff.
True. And she's pretty much, not as conniving or, devious, maybe as Lou, but she's not,
innocent either.
Mr. Clean either.
No, they definitely fuel each other.
Does it have any like-minded things at the bottom? What do they have on there?
Donnie Darko.
Okay, that's the Jake Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're just having Jake Gyllenhaal movies.
Yeah, Jake's
not any theme that are, and those are some pretty solid movies. All those.
Yeah.
Okay, because of our narcissistic person,
Which is funny because I referenced that because I had said at one point, and there was one scene I had said to Stacey, I was like, man, that he reminds me of some American Psycho dude.
Patrick Bateman. Because I guess they're both, where they're both sociopaths.
Yeah, and that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
because the characters are he's definitely a sociopath. That's a good one.
Okay.
I haven't seen that one yet either. Is that the
That's,
Leonardo
that's
one,
weird
right?
that they put those two in though.
Yeah, like what is?
I don't really see the connection.
Especially the Revenant, isn't that the one with the bear and all that stuff?
Yeah, But see, none of those really, other than the actors in the two Leo movies at the end, there's no correlation that's directly related to the theme of anything like this movie.
Yeah, and why the Leo movies at the end? Have they ever done a movie together? I don't think so.
No.
That I can think of anyway.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well.
But yeah, so IMDb is not always, I guess, the most accurate in lining up movies. But I would really highly suggest this movie to anyone that
sure. Yeah.
hasn't watched it. I mean,
Yeah, no, it's definitely going. And if you have watched it not in a while, like totally watch it again.
It's on
'Cause
HBO
it's
Max,
good.
right?
It's HBO Max. It's fast paced. It's not slow.
No.
It
And
doesn't.
you pick up things more. I've seen it. This is like my 5th time, and I like it probably the best now that I have liked it.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those you could rewatch. It's fast paced enough, and there's enough creepiness and stuff to Lou that it's worth watching. Like, because I was just so many times I was just just like, man, this dude is like so creepy. You're almost in awe of
Like you can't really take your eyes off of how creepy he is.
No, and it's the not blinking, dude. And I hadn't. That explains a whole lot because.
Well, see, that's also a very subtle thing because you felt the creepiness just from watching, but you weren't 100% sure what it was. But now that you realize what it was, you're like, that was it.
Yeah, and this is one of those movies. I mean, it keeps you watching.
Yeah.
I mean, you're glued
Because you don't know what's going to happen.
No, and you're kind of on the edge of your seat, but it plays right in to exactly what Rene Russo's character Nina is wanting to accomplish with this footage and stuff to her audience. Like you are totally swept up in just like the audience is intended to be of these news broadcasts and stuff. And it's done really well. I mean, they definitely put you there. It's got some great high speed scenes. Like there's the one scene that half reminded me of Lost Highway there at the one moment because it's close to the road and they're cruising. But I love the scene where they're cruising through Los Angeles like pretty fast. It's it's like an on dash, dash cam kind of footage. But it's cool, I like that kind of stuff.
Well, it was the cinematography that was great.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't think of any bad shots right off. And
it's good.
It seemed to like the shots seemed to fit with like they played it just played another character.
Yeah,
it was just like it was a nice companion to Lou. Like it was just layered nicely. I thought.
Agreed.
It was just like layered exactly the way it should have been. I can't think of anything. I didn't think it was too short nor too long.
No.
Right on. Great pace. Everyone did a spot on job. Jake, like we said, couldn't take your eyes off him.
Yeah, no, I mean it's definitely still. Everybody was in support of his role, but as it should be because again, it's about Lou. Like Lou's a one man show.
Yeah.
In the thing, really. I mean, he's got his driver guy that kind of helps, but it's still. Well, no, the guy's not even a driver; he's his navigator, really.
Yeah. And kind of, in all honesty, kind of a. I wouldn't say a loser, but he just seems kind of just have, just kind of waddled his way through life.
Yeah.
He's not really got much of a job. He nothing's really known much about him. But he seems a little bit of a slacker.
And he's basically homeless. He's asking like, "Where do you live?" And so again, it's Lou takes on this kind of disposable person.
Yep.
That you get the feeling nobody's really gonna
miss him. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares about him. He doesn't really care about himself. He's down on his luck, and he snatches him up, feeds him, some hype, and now he's got control of him pretty much. But the guy is the moral compass. He's like the good angel riding next to Lou over there.
True, I had thought of that, but
kind of, because he's morally really struggling kind of with this thing, but only up to the point that when it comes down to it and money, and Lou's like, no, okay, $50,000 or whatever. I can't remember what it was. the guy was like, well, all right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now he wasn't like, all right, he was still struggling with it, but
He-
he was
he-
still willing to do it when
Yep.
it came down to getting that money that he wanted.
Yep.
And then he ended up dead because it was like, well, he pulled a Lou move on him, basically, is
did.
what he did.
Yep.
He pulled a move that Lou would have done.
Yep.
And
And
couldn't
Lou-
have that.
Lou couldn't
no,
have that
no,
at all.
no.
And that's how, like, I get the feeling that Lou probably didn't have many friends in his life.
No, you can't imagine. I mean,
No.
how could you be?
Can you
It
imagine
would be
those?
unnerving.
Like, like Lou as a kid, and you're like, Mom, Dad, this kid never blinks.
Right?
I've never seen him blink.
Or like half picks apart, like or anything you say is like over analytical.
Yeah.
You're like maybe almost Sheldon, but not quite Sheldon, It's like you like Sheldon's character, but you're like, Sheldon's a jerk.
Yeah.
Dude. You know what I mean?
Because Lou is a jerk.
He's a jerk, but everything he's saying, it's all true and he's on point, but he's a jerk. And,
And
he,
just
and he
the-
uses it to like
He uses every single thing to his advantage.
to his advantage, every weakness.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's a good
exactly
point.
what it is.
So you could say that Nightcrawler is a movie in how to succeed.
No, I mean, there's definitely undertones there
Yeah.
because
That is a good point, and I do remember him saying that now.
he wanted to be at the top.
Yeah,
He wanted to own the station. Yep.
that's true, and he does say that, and you're right, he does do that.
And I mean, it kind of is. Yep.
Very cool. I'm glad that you picked up on that.
Yeah.
Also, at the very end, we were talking about, it does show that he does follow through with his plan and succeed, because he has two other vans
Two of them exactly.
and like 4 employees.
Yeah, he's basically become Bill Paxton's character.
Yeah.
Is what ends up kind of happening. And then they drive off and split roads, and that's when you're like, and then the credits roll, and you're like, he just got away with all that. He just got away with all that craziness. He just got away with it all.
True.
Yeah,
True.
yeah,
No, Lou is he got some young looking kids too, or young early.
yeah,
early-
and they're interns.
yeah,
So they're all unpaid too. So he's still going. And so, yeah, I mean, it's totally a lesson in success because, and like building like an empire, basically.
yeah,
Because that's what he's doing. He's taking the money he's making. He's got some free help. Taking money he's making. He's flipping it back into his cameras and equipment and all that stuff. The car to get there faster. He's making all the connections
Yep.
to the top people at the stations.
Yep.
And he basically blackmail, like we said earlier, Nina's character into making those connections. If you don't introduce me to all these people, you're not getting this.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And he wanted like $100,000 or something crazy.
Yeah,
for
some of the numbers
for the
he was
budget.
throwing out, I was like, wow.
Wow. It's like when you hear that, it's like, okay, this is 2014. And again, like I know movies are movies, but I feel like a lot of movies, there's some basis to reality,
Yeah.
unless it's a space movie or something. But
Right.
in this context, like the script writer, like the people that made the movie,
Seem
they've
to do-
researched
yeah.
this, like you can tell.
Yeah,
And it's like, wow, these guys are probably making pretty good money. I mean, I can't imagine what a crazy lifestyle. These guys are up all night. That's what they're doing.
yeah.
And
And I would have never
wow.
even thought of that as really before I saw this movie as like a career.
Yeah, no,
I would
not
have never
really.
thought of that at all.
But even the movie still shows that it's still not like it's a fast paced movie. It's a perfectly paced movie, really. I should
I
say.
think so too.
Because there's a lot of scenes where you get the feeling they're not out rushing around like constantly filming stuff. There's a scene where you get the feeling they've been sitting all night. He's been sitting on the roof of the car for hours.
Yeah.
You get the feeling, you
Yeah.
know, because nothing has happened.
And then they show
you know?
that one where they're taking shifts and sleeping.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because there's just nothing going on, you know. And yeah, so it's good. I definitely recommend it.
I definitely recommend it too. I definitely recommend
For
Stacy does as
sure.
well.
Yes.
So yeah, we all recommend Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler for sure.
It's a fantastic film, and you won't. I don't think you'll be disappointed
No,
because you won't know what to expect. Literally, at every
Next.
turn, you don't know.
no, yeah, and like maybe wait a day or two after listening to this, and then watch it so you don't remember.
So it won't be that fresh.
So maybe you'll forget the spoiler alerts, but maybe not because we watched it 2 hours later, came to record this, and we had to look up the characters' names.
Yeah, we didn't know Nina. I thought it was Sue.
Sue, yeah.
And this is the 5th time I've seen the movie. But
That's
I will
alright.
say this
It
about us: we do choose movies where there's not always the easiest ending in sight. Like, you know what I mean?
No, that's for no.
Like-
Agreed on that. We're pretty good about
Yeah,
that too.
there's some that
There's
that's been
several that-
pretty clear cut, but there's a lot of them have been like, I don't know where this is going to go.
Oh yeah. Well, Jacob's Ladder, definitely one of those. Infinity Pool is
Yeah.
definitely one. Where
Yeah.
it's kind of like
And both are good rewatchable movies, as is Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler.
So next week we have The Brothers Bloom.
The Brothers Bloom, which like we talked about earlier, is a big departure
Yeah,
from the movies we've been doing.
yeah.
And it's one of my favorites for a while.
I was kind
now.
of surprised, like, not to diminish it, but considering the kind of movies we've watched, when you said that was one of your favorites, I was like, oh, this will be interesting.
Yeah, no, it's a total. It's like
the-
a film noir comedy
The
kind of.
trailer looked very promising.
Yeah, no,
I'll
it's
say
good. It's
that.
got a good cast. You
Yeah.
know, so you got Adrian Brody, Mark Ruffalo.
Rachel
Rachel
Weisz.
Weisz.
Yeah, and it looked like it was filmed well. The director of The Last Jedi and Looper directed the Brothers.
Really? See,
Yep.
okay, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I noticed his name on the directed
Yeah.
by Ryan Johnson.
Yeah. No,
And-
I think you'll both like it. It's
Yeah.
a good one.
I
It's
think it'll
definitely entertaining. The acting is all good, and the plot lines. It's good. It's good. I'm not going to give too away much because you guys have not seen this one
No,
yet.
not at all. So this will be fun. So
Nice.
next week, The Brothers Bloom.
The Brothers Bloom.
So please check us out on Spotify. We're going to have a TikTok soon. So Spotify, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook, The Other People Show.
The other people
And
show.
we start May 5th, 10 p.m.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, on 92.5 WLSD, The Vault.
WLSD The Vault. Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm really excited
Yeah.
about that. Next week, I'm going to Banks and Doors, drum us up some sponsorship. Anybody that's watching or listening, and if
Yes.
you want some sponsorship or would like to donate,
We still
or
wouldn't mind
contribute.
Gatorade either.
Yeah, well, Seagrams tonight.
Yes.
I'm doing ginger ale tonight and Gatorade. But listen, we laugh about that. But what do you need, a pen? Like we laugh about that. Oh, we laugh about the Gatorade thing, but I mean, really, we drink a lot of Gatorade and these kind of drinks a lot. And
We
these
do.
munchies over here that I feel like we should thank the radio station for WAXM 92.5 for the bowl of munchies over here.
Yeah.
But listen, like with the Gatorade and stuff, honestly, we drink it a lot. And we're on air with it, and it's on camera, and we should be getting paid for that.
Yeah.
Because that's how that works.
Yeah.
Either that, or we need to be peeling these labels
Yeah.
off and not promoting Gatorade,
Blurring it out.
You know what I mean? So Gatorade, Seagrams, which I guess is probably a Coke product. Pepsi, maybe, I don't know. But we drink your products on air, and you should send us some money for that. Or support us, give our live videos stars or whatever, monetize.
Yeah.
On Facebook.
So we also want to, I think we should have people give out some ideas for TikTok challenges that we might do.
Oh, that's a good
That
idea.
might be a fun thing to do for the
That
show
could be
as
good.
well.
Yeah. For the radio show?
Yeah. We can do that for the radio show. And also we have multiple video streams going at all times. So that's going to be a cool thing. Casey's added a camera today.
Yeah, to this live, which this may shift over to that brand page that it's started because I'm going to try and funnel
Right.
it to there. But that at least gives us another angle here. Of course, that live feed over there can't hear the music
Right.
that we hear right now. So
Right.
that's a problem. There, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Go watch the YouTube
Yeah.
replay if you
And
want.
we are
or
going to get this.
Spotify.
We're going to get it so you can.
We're
just,
constantly improving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're scaling up every time we go. So like it's definitely improving, and the radio is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And,
I think so too.
And then that Wednesday show. Well, this show will shift to
Friday.
a different. Well, basically Friday, and then a different topic will fill in this Wednesday slot.
Yep.
And it's kind of like sounds like the discussion of like true crime-ish kind of unsolved mysteries kind of stuff.
A lot of new stuff.
Yeah,
and a lot
it's
of stuff that we
exciting.
haven't really explored before and done.
No, it's super exciting.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff to come for sure.
So it's going to be a fun time.
Absolutely.
And, we'll see everyone next week.
Yep. Good night.
Good night, everyone.